Hello, friends. I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. We're starting another month, so it's time to do my first impressions from the new to me games I played last month, that being September of 2025, as we continue to just plow right through this year. And last month I played four ish new to me games, and before I even try to explain the ish, let's just get right to it because it's the first one doing this alphabetically. A Feast for Odin. A Feast for Odin is a game I kind of played before on Board Game Arena and didn't really fully feel like I knew what I was doing. I read through, or I think I just played through the tutorial, got a basic idea. I already know how to do worker placements and things like that. So it wasn't really a lot to pick up, but without knowing everything to do on every action space, and there are a ton of them in this game, I'm sure I missed out on doing a lot of things, and I didn't really like it that much. I liked it enough to go ahead and get myself a used copy of it to give it another go where I could actually dive into it and play it myself. So that's what I did this past month, a good year or two even later. And both these plays are solo, and the solo mode's fine. You're basically just blocking yourself out as you alternate playing different colors in different rounds and leaving the other color on the board. So you've got to manage that a little bit. But like other similar games, and by similar I mean other Uwe games that aren't New York Zoo, the ones I played at least, I felt like I was fighting the game a lot. So maybe Uwe, at least his heavy stuff, just aren't for me. I don't know. I both this and Agricola. I might have played one other of his games. I don't recall. I just felt like while there's a ton to do, I couldn't always do what I wanted to do. And it wasn't because the spaces weren't there. Again, I controlled which spaces were and weren't there. But it's because of the end of round mechanism, where if you don't meet certain things, and both these cases are feeding your people, then you're going to score a lot of negative points. And this game already has a lot of negative points built in that you're trying to build up to get rid of them by covering up, the spaces on the board. And so in Agricola and now a Feast for Odin, I find myself constantly fighting the game to make sure by the end of the round I've at least done those things I have to do to avoid the negative points, and I'm not doing the things I want to do or can otherwise do. And my gripe specifically with my play of A Feast for Odin, and again, I only played this once this past month, is I had a starting card that kind of wanted me to have sheep. So I got sheep, and then they bred, and I got more and more sheep. And as the game went on, I had sheep, 5 sheep, I think, at the end of a 6 round game. And I don't know, I couldn't find specifically in the rules, and I didn't want to go looking for the answer anywhere. But can I use those sheep? They're red, and you can use red and orange items to feed the people. Could I have fed one of my sheep to the Vikings? I don't know. Um, because there's no space that turns those sheep into meat. And you think I can go to spaces and turn the sheep into wool? Makes sense. So why can't I go to spaces and turn sheep into meat? And maybe I can use them as meat. It didn't specifically say I could or couldn't in the rule book. So maybe I could have, but I didn't. And that ended up costing me a bunch of negative points at the expense of 2 positive points, I guess, or 4 positive points. But I don't know. It's just with these games, I'm just fighting the game. So it's fun. I enjoy it. I like the concept of blocking myself with my actions. I kind of like that there's a lot of spaces to go and a lot of variety. And you're getting these occupation cards and you're using those. And there's plenty to do in A Feast for Odin. So I'm definitely worth diving into. But just like Agricola, it's just I'm fighting to do the things the game's telling me I have to do and not doing the things that I just want to do. I guess I could ignore it, what it's telling me to do, but then I'm just going to have negative a million points at the end of the game. So I don't know. Just it's those choices that I don't. They just don't roll with me. Anyway, enough about that game. Let's move on to the Gallerist, another big game from a big designer. The Gallerist is from Vital Lacerda, and it is an art-making game. You're going around, and again, worker placement, but there's only 4 worker placement spots, and then at each spot you're going to do one of 2 actions. So it's not pared down, and those actions basically are hiring artists, um, getting them to produce works, adding those works to your gallery, selling those works from your gallery to get money, pimping those artists so that way their stuff sells for more money, and various things like that. And this game is really easy solo mode to operate because all you're doing on the other turn is moving their worker basically from one space to the next space in clockwise order. And that's about it. Occasionally they'll do things that clear things out of the board and get in your way a little bit, but it's all predictable. I just really enjoyed this game. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Good game. Check out. Not as complex as the other Vital Lacerda games, that's for sure. And then my final 2 games are from my favorite designer. So I went from Uwe Rosenberg, who is a favorite of a lot of people, but just didn't mesh with me, to the point salad guy who does mesh with me. That's Stefan Feld. And I know a lot of people could take or leave his games. But the Stefan Feld game I played, I don't even think I played first, but alphabetically first is Kathmandu, another one from the Queen Cities line of Stefan Feld games. And this game basically is you're taking 6 colored dice, rolling them, and then maybe it's only 5, but whatever. And each round you're going to take 3 of those basically on your turn, one at a time, and you're going to acquire a resource of that color and then advance straight in a direction, north, south, east, or west, the number of pip spaces, and landing on various locations where you can buy things, use resources for getting things, and all these things are going to be points as you make your way from kind of the starting area to Kathmandu, dealing with the weather and all the things along the way. And it's just kind of a set collection, points collection, race-ish game. I did really enjoy it. It's pretty lightweight, I think, for the most part. Simple rule set, relatively easy complexity, but plenty of think space for how to best maximize your point getting, because everything's going to get you points, but what's going to get you the best points? And then managing the resources so you can get the things you want to get as you get there. Really fun game. I enjoyed this one. I'd definitely be happy to pull it out and play the longer version of it. In fact, that's the one thing we said when we finished, because it played pretty quickly. We played at 3. I think it was just over an hour with the teach and everything. And we basically all said we kind of wanted to keep going. So that's a testament to the game. And it does include, the long version in the game where you could play 8 rounds instead of the 6. That is the standard game. So probably pull that out again soon-ish, as much as I pull anything out, I guess, on repeat plays. And then the final new to me game from last month is Notre Dame. Notre Dame. I have the 10th anniversary version, which is probably almost 10 years old itself now. And this is another action selection game, pick and pass cards, and then you're going to take the action of, one of the 3 cards you have left. You're going to take 2 of those 3, and the other one's just going to be discarded. And you're playing with the same stack of cards, but they're shuffled different, so how they come out is different. How you're going to get passed is different, but each one allows you to do a different thing around Paris, around Notre Dame, moving around the city, collecting things, doing things, acquiring things, meeting goal objectives, and everything else that gets you points, because Stefan Feld is nothing if not a point salad guy. And I really enjoyed this one too. It was good, especially about halfway through the game when you really start realizing how your games are varied, and so you need to start paying attention to what you're passing your opponents and how much that's going to help them snowball their points versus what you want to do. So I really like Notre Dame, whatever, however you want to call it. I really enjoyed that one as well, as I enjoy almost all Stefan Feld games. They just sing to me, I guess. But that's it. Those are the 4 new to me games from September of 2025. Let me know in the comments below what you've been playing, what you thought of, what my thoughts are of what I played that were new to me this month. And if you like this video, of course, give it a thumbs up, subscribe below to join me again on the next video. I look forward to seeing you then.